All right, so the first thing is to just look at the basic graphs of exponential functions. So here, when we see that this base is 4, it's a value that's greater than 1. So we know that this is a growth model, meaning our function is going to look like this. And the way that you would plot these is the following. If there's no horizontal shifting, what you're going to do is first find the y-intercept. Okay, so you are going to be sort of plugging in points here. So the first thing we do is find our y-intercept. So when x is 0 here, what's our output? 1. So this is our first point. So that's the first critical point that you're going to find, okay, is your y-intercept, unless there's a horizontal shift. Okay, if there's a horizontal shift, and we'll talk about that in the next few slides, but if there is a horizontal shift, you're going to find the corresponding point at that shift. Okay, and then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to move 1 to the right or 1 to the left, okay, depending on whether you have growth or decay tendencies. Okay, so if it's a value, if the base is greater than 1, you're moving 1 to the right, and you're going to plot a second point. So when we plot the point when x is 1, what's the output when x is 1? 4 to the first is 4. So that plots our second point. And again, what you're going to do here is you're going to choose the exponential function graph here, and it'll, once you get 2 points, it'll fill in the rest of it for you, and your graph is going to look like this. Okay? So keep in mind that the horizontal asymptote with no vertical shifting occurring is at y equals 0, and so that's what your graph looks like. Okay, now, if you're graphing an exponential function and the base is smaller than 1, meaning it's between 0 and 1, what you're going to do is the same first point, the y-intercept. So here, when you plug in a 0, 1/6 to the 0 power is still a value of 1. Again, if it happens to have a horizontal shift, you're going to use the point that corresponds to that horizontal shift. And then your second point is going to be, again, it's either 1 to the left or 1 to the right, because this one is a decay-like function. It's the decay, or the base is smaller than 1. We're going to move 1 to the left. So if you move 1 to the left here and plug in a -1, 1/6, if you evaluate, basically we're evaluating f of -1. So if we took 1/6 to the -1, what's that negative going to do to our base? Flips it, so it becomes 6 to the first, which gives us a value of 6. So -1 and 6 would be the point that we plug, and that gives us our equation, or our graph. And again, the system will fill in the rest. You're just finding 2 points to plot your graph. Okay, and because there's no vertical shifting here, the horizontal asymptote stays exactly where it is. Okay. All right. So once again, this is a decay function if there's no shifting.